Good morning everybody and welcome to WildEarth this morning. What a beautiful morning it is again. Very little cloud above us, but there is that band of cloud that we keep seeing every morning. But hopefully it will stay high and we won't get too much in the way of rain during drive. Keep your fingers crossed. My name's Tara. Joining me on camera this morning is Andrew. Back in front of control is Brian, and of course the sun keeping everything under control. So hopefully you can carry on and join us for quite a while, because we do have some leopard and lion tracks around here. Certainly the lion tracks, they were heading down this way. Apparently it was 2 sticks females and they were coming in from the north. They came up this way, so they've obviously turned around at something and headed back down again. Couldn't find anything here, so I'm just going to have a look, see where they might have gone off, and then we'll start our search. So here's hoping we'll catch up. So that is, actually no, I'm covering it. There we go. I was thinking that doesn't look quite right. I think she scuffed the mark there, but there's a nice one here. So you can see the 3 lobes in the back of the pad there. That's the 3 lobes. 1, 2, 3. And then we've got the toes. And the toes are quite far from the pad. So that's how you can tell if it's a lion or a leopard. Sometimes it is a bit of a difficult one. There's a bit of crossover when you've got a large leopard, or it could be a sub-adult lion. But their toes are nice and far from the pad, and the size-wise, I was just saying to Andrew, if we were on the reserve that I am studying the leopards over in Leidenberg, this could be just that it's just a little bit big, but it could rival the size of the leopards that side. Big D, the measurements are about 110 millimeters. So he is a big cat. So these are probably not too far off that size. So it could rival even the lionesses here, the size of paws. He probably clocks in around 85 kilos, something like that. Ed, welcome on board, and apparently this is your first drive. So great to have you with us on this beautiful sunny morning here in South Africa. Definitely bringing some sun to you guys who are in the freezing cold. I'm really grateful that I'm here in the sun. So we're sending a lot of African sun your way, everybody. Even now, it's 6 o'clock, just after 6, and the temperature is glorious. Okay, so I'm going to take a drive up this side, but I just want to check they haven't popped out here. Ben would like to know why the animal's so tame. It's because the Sabi Sands, we've got cat tracks there. Okay, let's have a look. And the Sabi Sands has been operating for about 50-60 years as a reserve where people can come to look at animals. So the animals have gotten used to hearing the vehicles, seeing the vehicles, so they've gotten used to all these sights, funny smells, and the sounds. So they have got pretty relaxed around the vehicles. Okay, I'm not seeing anything here. Let's check this corner here. And I've got about 2.5 years worth of data so far, and I've got another year to gather the data, so that we've got 3 years, so we can compare the different years as well. And it's, say, using camera traps mostly and spore recognition. Go ahead. Okay, copy. Thanks, Ephraim. Yeah, they did something on Weaver's Nest, but I think it was early last night. Oh, okay. Well, it sounds like our trail is coming to an end. So it looks like they did go into this block, but they might have popped out by Chelapan because someone's saying they're just picking up their tracks south of Gary, Maine. So I think the ladies did leave last night, unfortunately. Oh, that's a shame. I really thought we might have had some luck in here. But never mind. We do have a giraffe to keep us company. And it is normal to see giraffe on their own. We can find giraffe on their own. And I think, actually, I wonder if this is the male that's limping. Looks like it. Looks a little bit stiff. But certainly try and help leopards in that area and in the country. And I would still like to have a role doing that. It'd be very cool if we get to see this boy drinking. You don't see it very often because they do feel very vulnerable, and that is when predators can attack giraffes, when they put the head down to drink, because the head is at ground level, so those big eyes that they've got such an incredible eyesight, and obviously that height, you're looking about 4 or 5 meters off the ground, just gives them that ability to see anything sneaking up on them quite often, so they don't tend to get snuck up on too well. But when they're down drinking, that's when they're vulnerable and they can't see very far, and it's very easy for a lion to come in, grab the neck and keep the head down. And lions are one of the main predators of giraffe, and especially in the Kruger, the lions have actually worked out if it's raining, if they force giraffe onto the roads, they'll actually slip, and they just as easy to catch when they slip on those roads than if they're drinking at the water holes and pans like this. Especially this, there could be a lion lurking in the bush. So if I was this giraffe, I probably wouldn't drink here, but depends on what he's experienced as well, but it looks like he's a little bit more sensible. A vet that was to come in and dart him, that would actually put the animal under a lot of stress, and there's nothing to say that stress wouldn't actually kill him, whereas maybe this limp is temporary and maybe he will actually get over the limp and he would actually do it in his own time and it doesn't need to stress him out. And that's something we've always got to think about, because if he needs to. Morning stations, Wandlamiti, close to Chelapan. Wandlamiti. It's been the love of my life ever since I was 5 years old. I can remember as far back as then saying I'd love to see a kangaroo. I was very fortunate to work with quite a number of kangaroos. It was actually the largest collection of kangaroos outside of Australia. I was very fortunate to work with kangaroos and other species. And I absolutely love animal behaviour. I love observing animals. I'm just going to see if we can't get a nice view of his head. Maybe if we move back again. I thought he was going to go into the bush, but he's actually just feeding on that tree. Looks like a weeping willow bean that he's actually feeding on. There we go. So yeah, just combining animals and animal behaviour, my two loves. But as I say, I'm really not sure. I'm sure something will turn up at some stage. It always seems to. I'm very lucky. I mean, I work hard to get to where I am, but then I'm very lucky that opportunities do come my way as well. So, but as I say, I'm just trying to focus on getting the PhD done at this stage and getting the research out there Because there's a lot of research that does go on, but it doesn't really get published. It doesn't get put out into the academic world and to the rest of the world. And we're really trying to get, or we are aiming to try and get a more accurate estimation of leopards across South Africa and even Africa, because no one knows how many there are. There's been a couple of guesstimates using models, but models and what's actually on the ground are two totally different things. So that's what I'm busy with at the moment, is trying to work out the density of the leopards around our way, and then we could at least have an estimate in areas where we have an overlap of savanna and grassland, and the possibility of how many leopards we have in that type of habitat. Because we're literally on the cusp of the two huge biomes. That's what makes the area very interesting. And so very different to this savanna. So we do still have savanna, but it's mountainous savanna. So we get some trees that we find here, like the weeping broadbean. We do get that side, which is what he's feeding on by the looks of it. But we also get trees that were found in the Waterberg, where I used to work. We get proteas up in the mountains. So it's a very different savanna to here. This is the low feld as well, so low-lying altitudes, whereas I'm just on the edge of the high feld, and the altitudes there are about 1,100 meters above sea level, up to about 2,000 meters above sea level. Whereas here, if I remember rightly, it's somewhere in the 400 region, I think. Much lower. Hi, Valerie in Pennsylvania. Valerie wanting to know how long do the chemicals last in the leaves once the animal has been feeding on them. So for those of you who are not aware, some of the trees do actually increase chemical levels, especially tannins. Tannins are very bitter, and they actually start increasing the tannin levels in their leaves when they're being browsed to make them very bitter. And it goes as far as the giraffes, and this will happen in a lot of the acacias. The giraffes will actually walk upwind, so going into the wind when they're feeding, because some of these trees are actually able to produce these tannins, and they'll actually send a chemical downwind, which other trees pick up as a warning that they're being fed on, and they'll start increasing those tannins even before the animals have got there to start feeding on them. So the giraffes, check that out again and just make sure that I have them. And that's supposed to stop the giraffe from actually getting sunburn on his tongue. Hi Scott in Ohio, welcome on board to you this morning. Alpacas are off. And Scott from Ohio would like to know what the purpose is of the horns on top of the head. And the horns on most animals serve as protection and for fighting. So with the males, they do use the heads as a battering ram. So the horns might also add to the blow, and believe me, when two giraffes are fighting, they'll stand shoulder to shoulder and they'll swing the head down so they hit the opponent around the chest or the body area or the neck area. It is a wonder they don't knock themselves out. But that's why they do have the lumps all over the head as well. They're calcified lumps that grow as the males are fighting, so the calcium just gets laid